What is up, Beamers? Ryan here from the BMW Doctor. We're back finally. It's been like 7 months or some shit. I don't know. This is Echo, my dog. Yeah, guys haven't met her before. And we have the E39. We have a very common issue for you. We're gonna get it fixed. And she really wants this chip, so I'm gonna give it to her. Alright, so here is what you will have. So this happened while I was driving, and basically what came up was, see, you got EML, traction, check engine light, and brake, and then it's in limp mode. When you give it gas, it feels like it's misfiring. So we have the Maxuses here. We're gonna check the engine control module codes, and what we're looking for is this right here: engine throttle stage shut off after diagnosis. And normally, if the throttle body was dirty, you'll get a different code that says throttle stuck or some other things, because I've had this happen before. I just had to go in and clean it. So it really depends on what you get, but I would clean it first, reset the code, and see what happens. If it comes back, and then you have a faulty throttle body. This car has 161,000. These E39s from this year in particular are 100% made in Germany, so these parts tend to last longer. So forgot to mention that we have gotten a lift. This is the Max Jacks. It's designed so it fits in your garage pretty much. It's been a great add-on to the garage, and I got it installed Christmas Eve, so it's like basically my Christmas present. So this is the junkyard part that I've gotten a while ago. Part number is right here. It will also be in the description. In this particular year, these were still wired operated throttle bodies. So, alright, so I'm going to show you how to replace the throttle body. First thing what you want to do is take out the airbox. It's a 10mm. Zip this out. By the way, this is the same process for an E46. It's a little bit different air intake box and then air ducts that go in, but basically this area is really similar, so if you have an E46, this will work for you as well. Next, you want to unhook these clamps, and then you just want to work this out. If you still have the 8mm that's connecting the resonator to the airbox, you're gonna have to take this out. I never put this one on because it's annoying, but I'll put a picture on the screen for you so you know what I'm talking about. And then you want to just wiggle this out of here. This comes off. Next, what you want to do is disconnect this hose here and take out the mass airflow. You don't have to, but I'm doing it. Now you want to disconnect this hose here. If your boots are brittle, go ahead. If you find any cracks in them, go ahead and replace both of them, because they will cause you vacuum leaks, and you don't want that. You'll have a permanent check engine light because of that. Now, to remove this hose, stick a and for those who have the M54, you're gonna have another nipple on there, so be careful. You'll have another hose that goes into here, and that always breaks. I'm just gonna stick this here out of the way. Next, what we want to do is take this hose clamp off. Alright, so next to taking this hose clamp off, it's a 6mm or flat. I'm gonna take this boot out of the way. Okay, now this is off. Inspect it. I know these have been recently replaced, so I'm not too worried about it, but if you have any cracks in this rubber, let's inspect it, make sure there's nothing. Usually also cracks here at this nipple or at this spout, so check that as well. Next, we're going to take this valve off, and it's held by 240mm Torx. One is right here. Make sure you use the right Torx. If you use a smaller one, it's going to strip it for sure. And the other one is right here. Just get them loose, get them undone. This is the disvalve. Make sure it actually works. If yours is broken or you're missing this pin right here, make sure you replace it, because it's basically not doing the job it's supposed to do if this is loose. And another way to test it is you shut the flap and then you cover this hole with your finger. Make sure it's tight. And if this goes back to the original state, then it's bad. But then if you remove your thumb and it does this, then it's sealing, which means the diaphragm is not ruptured. Alright, so we're going to take this clamp off. Yours may be facing downwards, so you're going to have to go in with a small flat or 6mm and get it undone. It's pretty tedious, just take your time. So you take this boot off and inspect it as well. Usually it fails in this right here. This gets ruptured and then starts to leak. As you can see, the throttle body is already exposed, but we'll have to take off a few other parts to actually take it off. So next you want to remove the dipstick tube. This 13mm. So I've already loosened it, Scotty Kilmer style. Alright, to get this out of the way, it should be fine. Next we're going to do is, usually there's a 10mm here, 10mm here, another 10 here. There's a Phillips here for some reason, but normally it's a 10mm. Disconnect the ICV connector. And there's 10mm down there. And this is out of the way. Okay, next. Now this is out of the way. You want to remove the 4 10mm that are holding the throttle body. There, this is loose. Next, what you want to do is disconnect this connector, and it's basically, you turn it counterclockwise, and it comes off. And if you have an M54, you'll have a different connector, which you'll need to squeeze the tab and pull out. Alright, last bolt. It's loose, ready to go. What you want to do is disconnect the cable, the throttle cable, and to do that you just want to turn it. And it comes off. It's pretty easy, I'll show you. Now it's out of the car. It goes in here, and this, see that? That's where this bowl goes in. This right here. So you just want to get it disconnected. This throttle body is pretty clean. As you can see, we've cleaned it before. There's no carbon buildup. So I call this unit faulty. The one we have from the junkyard is identical. So we're a go. We'll go ahead and put this one on, and we'll see what happens. Alright, so to put it back on, first do yourself a favor and connect the connector, plug it in, because it's pretty annoying to put it back on later. And if you forget it disconnected, then you'll have a lot of problems. So here's how it goes on. Yeah, the thread sticks out, and yeah, you can tell the side with the O-ring is the back against the manifold. So you put it this way, and then align it, put your bolts back on. There's really not a good way to do this, just align it and then stick the bolts in, tighten them. If your O-ring feels hard, go ahead and replace it. I've yet to see that on an E39. I don't think it gets really hot in there, but I guess Bentley manual is supposed to replace it. Pay attention to this ground, as it's supposed to bolt onto the throttle body. If you forget about it, you'll probably have a code for the throttle cable. I'm going to show you. You want to hold this up like that, where it opens. Stick your hand in it. Actually, where it opens, and then you stick this ball in, and it's done. Hopefully you saw that. Alright, so next you tighten the bolts. And now we'll put this one here. Connect the ICV. Thought that was a good idea. And then put this on. Find the clamp that's holding it to the throttle body. 6mm. Next you want to put the dipstick tube back on. And this guy back on. Okay. Goes back in. Next, I want to do the disvalve. Two 40mm. A connector that looks like this goes into the disvalve. And next you want to put on the mass airflow sensor. Pay attention to the arrow. It's supposed to point this way towards, and air going in. And if you do spray silicone, make sure you don't spray on it because it will ruin the sensor. Sensor is pretty sensitive, so don't ruin it. Put this on, and now we have everything on. We're ready to start the car. Alright, let's see. So the EML is still on, but I can feel like the car is that's weird. Alright, let's try again. This is about 3 weeks later. We replaced the throttle body. That same day we replaced it. It's still through the EML light, and the symptom was still there. I came to realize that the computer, or the DME, runs that diagnostics every 12 hours or so. So you have to turn the car off for a while before the DME registers the new throttle body. So I turned it on the next day with the new throttle body, and it was fine. And here it is. No problems, no issues, no EML light. The performance is back. So that's how you fix it. Please let me know if you have any questions. If you like the video, please like it and share and subscribe. I do spend a lot of time prep these videos for you guys and edit them, so please help me back by subscribing. It doesn't cost you anything, and you'll learn a lot. If you have any issues, I can help you with that as well. This is Ryan, BMW Doctor, and I'll see you guys next time.